Alright, today I'm going to tell you why I use DeWalt instead of all these other brands. Let's get into it. So, there's obviously tons of different brands out there. And I saw this meme the other day on social media that was, when boys turn into men, they get sorted into one of these four houses like in Harry Potter. And it's four different tool brands: DeWalt, Milwaukee, Ryobi, and Bosch. I believe it was Bosch. I don't know. There's obviously more than that out there. And so, whichever one you use, that's fine, whatever works for you. I'm going to tell you why I ended up here, even though I've got some of the other stuff. Let's start out with one of the ones that everybody probably starts with, and that's Ryobi. Now, I used Ryobi when I got started because you can't beat the bang for the buck, right? They're cheap tools. Everything runs off that same battery, which is great. And they've got all the different tools that you can think of, including like lawn equipment and stuff like that. So as far as getting what you're paying for, you're being able to access more tools without breaking the bank. And as someone who's getting started, I can't recommend it enough. There's several tools that they have that work very well for me. I still use their job site blower because I think some of the other ones are overpriced, honestly. And I got that one for like 50 bucks. So that's one of the few tools that I'm still using. I keep some of these around the house when I've got all my tools at the shop. Obviously, I need some tools at the house. And I don't want to run to the shop every time I need to use it. So I use a lot of those tools at the house for, small little home projects. And they work just fine. There are some of their tools that can't hang when it comes to some of the bigger projects. I'm thinking particularly of their palm router. I went through two of those trying to just put a little quarter round on some white oak. And man, that thing did not want to cooperate. I don't know if it didn't have the speed or just the horsepower, whatever. It didn't work. It just flat out didn't work. It burned up. I tried to take it apart and fix it, but it just wasn't good. So I had a problem with that. The hammer drill has worked, but I wonder often how much of it is actually, doing its job, because it would take a lot to hammer through some concrete sometimes. Uh, their impact and the regular drill work just fine. A lot of the other smaller tools, the nail gun worked pretty well. After about a year and a half, I started having some issues with it. Pin nailer, the same thing. But overall, I would say the fact that they've got that battery that goes into all their tools, and they have such a wide variety of tools, and the price point they're at, it's hard to say that that's a bad option for beginners, but you should want to grow out of this. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be something that you stick with and that's your main thing, because they really, on a performance level, they lack a little bit of that horsepower that you're going to need, and the durability and dependability, because when you grab that tool, you expect it to work. The other thing is the battery life. I found that even their bigger 20-volt ones don't last very long. And then I've had several of them that they just stop charging. And I don't know if that's just over time. Maybe I was a little too rough with them. I don't know. But Ryobi, the battery leaves a lot to be desired. So I would say if you're getting started, it's a great option for that, because you can get a bunch of tools without spending a bunch of money. But it wouldn't be my number one, that's why I'm not with them anymore, right? That's why I moved on, because they don't hold up when you need them to hold up. Second one we're going to talk about is Bosch. Now, I don't have any of Bosch's batteries. The Bosch tools I have are all plug-in. I've got their sander. I've got one of their palm routers. I like them. They've worked pretty well for me. I don't know if their batteries hold up well or not. I couldn't tell you that, but these seem to be working well. If I had a complaint, it would be with their palm router. The thing gets hot if you're using it for more than, a couple minutes. And, I've done a couple of jobs where I'll make a big board and batten and I'm rabbiting out the inside for, the board to go in for that back panel so that it sits all nice and flush. And so I'm doing a lot of, with the little rabbiting bit, running it around these big planks. And by the time you get to the second or third one, that thing is like on fire. I don't know if that's because it's not meant to be run that much or what, but that would be my big complaint is with their palm router. It gets hot, and it's at that point it's hard to hold it. You gotta like put a glove on or put a rag around it or something. Now you're getting a little bit iffy because if you got a rag and then it gets caught in the router, it's asking for trouble. So that would be the one thing I'd like for them to look at is, I don't know if you can control the heat, but if you can at least put some sort of padding around the outside so that the hand isn't feeling all that heat. Overall, Bosch is pretty good. It is a German company, so it is coming from Germany. Didn't mention it, but Ryobi is made over in Hong Kong. So you're getting it's Technotronic Industries is the ones that make that, and they sell, as far as I know, exclusively at Home Depot. Whereas Bosch, you can find it at Lowe's um, and some of the other stores. But this is basically a Home Depot product. This is basically a Lowe's product. Third one we're going to talk about is Milwaukee. I've got a couple of their battery tools on both their M12 and their M18 battery platforms. I like them so far. There's a couple of things that reason I haven't gone completely Milwaukee. I think it's a good idea for this is an M12 product. It's got the little small battery. Getting in the charger can be, you don't like feel the click, so you don't know if it's all the way in. You're just kind of waiting for that light to start flashing. And the little clips have messed up on one of them, so it keeps falling out. But this tool itself, I really like the detail sander. When you're doing a lot of little tight corners and stuff, it's great, especially for smaller projects. You can replace that sandpaper pretty easy. Very ergonomic, I guess you would call it, where it fits in the hand well. And overall, I like Milwaukee. I don't have any of their big batteries, so I don't know how those hold up. But the smaller M18s that I've used, they hold up very well. I do have a drill and an impact from Milwaukee that I like. But if I were to, my complaint with them is, again, you only really find those at Home Depot. A couple of the other stores will have it, sometimes like Ace Hardware. But if you need a tool, you better hope there's a Home Depot around because Lowe's doesn't carry them, and some of the other smaller stores don't carry them either. So Milwaukee is good. Not a lot of complaints with them. But the big reason I went with the black and yellow is because you can get it anyway. DeWalt is a very dependable brand. I haven't had issues with any of their tools except the pen nailer. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they're just a great tool platform. The batteries last well. I like the indicator on the charging. They hold up good. They'll take a beating and keep working. I mean, I've thrown this thing around probably a little bit too much, and it's been scuffed up and gotten a little bit of paint on it. I push my tools to the limit, that's for sure, and it keeps responding to the bell. It keeps working. They keep doing their job. The batteries, like I said, they last a good long time. I feel like I'm getting a bunch out of them. But the big reason that I decided to go DeWalt for my battery tools is you can get it anywhere. Both of the big box stores sell it. The smaller stores like Ace, Tractor Supply, they all carry DeWalt stuff too. So when you need it, you can get it. If you're working at a job on the other side of town and they don't have one of the big box stores, they've only got the other one. Well, if you needed it for these, you've already got you don't want to invest in a new battery platform, right? You'd like to stay on the same battery. And so that's why that's really the tipping point for me when it comes to going with DeWalt. Price difference in these two in particular is not much. The other thing is DeWalt is owned by Stanley Black & Decker. It's an American company, whereas Milwaukee, I don't know if you knew this, Milwaukee is owned by the same company that makes Ryobi. Tektronic Industries out of Hong Kong makes Milwaukee and Ryobi, which could be why they both sell at Home Depot. You don't find Milwaukee over at Lowe's. So I like that too. American company. It's quality products. It is, slightly pricey. I wish I could get DeWalt tools for Ryobi prices, but then again, you're also getting what you pay for because DeWalt works all the time. I haven't had any issues with DeWalt tools. I've got just about all the ones that I need. Some of them plug in, some of them battery powered. But if you're going to pick a battery platform, I think DeWalt is probably the best one because of its dependability, durability, and accessibility, because you can get it just about anywhere. So my one complaint, I've got a complaint with all of them, is my 23 gauge pen nailer. And maybe, just maybe, you guys know the issue here. So these nailers are oil free, right? You're not supposed to have to oil them. Well, every time I get to about halfway down the sleeve, it stops firing the nails. It'll go through the firing process, but none of the nails don't come out. So I get the hole in the wood and no nail. So I haven't figured that out yet. I've done a little internet research. Haven't really found an answer because everybody seems to say that if they have problems, it's because it's not firing at all. This is going through the firing process, but the nail's not coming out. And it's only when it gets down, like if I put a new sleeve in, no problem. I thought it was a spring thing, but there's no indication that the spring isn't working to keep pushing the nails up. I don't know. So DeWalt, internet, somebody, let me know what's going on there, how to fix it. Because like I said, I've gone DeWalt. I think it's a better brand. I like the accessibility of being able to get it wherever I go. But I kind of want that pen nailer to work. So that's what I got for you today. That's why I'm with DeWalt. That's why I rep the black and yellow. I think it is superior to the other ones. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm sure there's some Milwaukee guys, some Bosch guys. I can tell you right now, I don't know how you Festool guys afford it. Festool, I've heard great things. $1,200 for like one tool? $400 for a sander? Man. So maybe I need to charge more. Get some of that Festool money. So these are obviously things that you can get, anybody can get at the big box stores, and that kind of goes to why, and another reason that Festool is a little bit harder to jump into, not just the price point, but the accessibility. You got to go to more of a specialty wood shop to even find it, or order it online, and it's hard to invest in those tools unless you're really bringing in some big dollars. So for now, stick with the black and yellow, DeWalt. We'll catch you next time. Make sure you subscribe. Crafted in Florida.